Okay, so this video is material that you were taught. Doesn't mean that you learned it, but you were taught this in the middle school. Okay, we're going to be doing area, all kinds of area. So number one, you have the area of a square. It's just side times side. Area is side squared. A lot of kids tell me length times width, but you really should just know that it's side squared. Then you have the area of a rectangle. Okay, so this is just area equals length times width. Of course, you have your parallelogram. Which is area equals base times height. Now, the base and the height are interchangeable, so let's say I make this my height. Where it ends, where it's perpendicular to, that side is the base. So that's your base. That's your height. These are sides. This is your width. This is your length. All right? Okay, so then you have the triangle. A triangle is half a parallelogram. Okay, that's why the formula is half base times height. Now, the base and the height are obvious when you're talking about a right triangle. But let's say you're talking about an acute triangle. Okay, in that case, you're just like in the parallelogram, this is your height, and your base is where your height is drawn to. Base, height. Okay, in an obtuse triangle, the height is often drawn on the outside. Okay, and the base is this side here. So, a little tricky. Here's your base, here's your height. Okay, at any rate, then we have the trapezoid, right? So for the trapezoid, as you know, the formula is half height, the sum of the two parallel sides, right? So you have some trapezoid. This would be base 1, base 2. The height is drawn perpendicular from one base to the other. There's your height. Okay, then you have a circle. So the formula for that is pi r squared. All right. You figure that you also should know the circumference of this, pi times d. Cherry pie is delicious. Apple pies are too. That's one way that people remember this. Cherry pies delicious. Apple pies are too. That may help you to remember it. Okay, so those are your area formulas, right? Now, let's say you have to get the surface area of something. Okay, let's just say we have a rectangular prism. Here's my width. This is my height. This is my length, okay? Now, for the surface area, lots of people just choose to memorize the formula. It's 2 times length times width, plus 2 times length times height, plus 2 times width times height. That's your surface area. basically you have two identical sets for each of the distinct faces. So in other words, when you're doing this length times width, this is your top and your bottom. When you're doing the length times the height, that is the front and the back facing you. And then 2 times width times height is the right and the left. Now for a cube, okay, so this is called a rectangular prism. Okay, a prism, by the way, has 2 faces which run parallel to one another, and they're congruent. That's how you know this is a prism. A cube is also a prism. It's just that all 6 faces are the same. So here we have a cube, and you're just going to have an edge. All the edges are going to be the same. So for the surface area, you're just going to have 6 times edge squared. You just get the area of one face and multiply by 6. Okay, in order to get the surface of a triangular prism, you can look at your network. You're going to have 2 identical triangles. Okay, each triangle is going to have a height, right, and a base. So since there's 2 of them, you could just do base times height instead of multiplying by half and then doubling, because the 2 and the half would cancel. So let's say this base, I'll write it in the front here, is 8, and let's say the height is 5. So that would be 8 times 5. That would be for the 2 triangles. Then you have 3 rectangles. Now for those rectangles, which are wrapping around the sides, okay, prisms, all the faces besides the bases, so let me just color in the bases. This is called a triangular prism because the bases are both triangles. All the other faces, so the other 3 faces that wrap around, those are all rectangles. Now, for each of those rectangles, you have this side. Let's say this is 10. This is going to be a side of each rectangle. Okay, we have this rectangle that is on the top here. And so we would need this side, right? Okay, so I'll just call this the red rectangle. So the dimensions are 10 by, all right, let's say that is 17. Okay, so that area would be 10 times 17, or 170. Then you have the bottom base. So you have this 10 on the bottom by 8. That's the bottom rectangle. I think I said base. Okay, the bases, you don't literally have to stand the prism on its base. Okay, a base is one of the 2 congruent parallel shapes. Which are parallel. Okay, so anyway, so this is 8 by 10, so that's 80. And then we have this face that's in the back. You have this dimension, right, which is 10, and then you have this dimension. Okay. So we can make that whatever we want. We'll just say it's 10. Okay. No, that's going to be confusing with the other 10. All right, so I'll say this is 11. Okay, so for that blue rectangle, I have the 11, and then I have the 10. So this is 10 times 11, or 110. And then your total surface area, you would just add these together. So we have 170 and 180. Okay, those add nicely to 250. And then we have this 40 and this 110. Those add nice to 150. So the total is 400 squared units. Okay, so that's how you get surface area. You have to break it down. Don't know if you learned this in middle school, but let's say you had to get the surface area of a right cylinder. Okay, a right cylinder is made up of 2 circles. So that's 2 pi r squared. And then you have this piece, if I open this piece up, this piece is actually a rectangle. Okay, and my height is this distance. And then this distance here is actually pi d. It's my circumference of my circle. So let's give you the radius. Let's say the radius is 5. Okay, so we have 2 circles, so that's 2 pi r squared. So that's 2 times pi times 5 squared, or 50 pi. And then for the lateral, we call this lateral surface area, the part that wraps around. It's length times width, right? So it's going to be 8 times circumference. So it's 8 times pi times the diameter. So this is 80 pi. So the total is 130 pi. That's how you get surface area. There's really no shortcut to getting surface area. You just have to understand how to do it. Okay, let's talk about other shapes. The prisms, we have the cylinder, okay? Then we have pyramids. These are a little difficult to draw in 2 dimensions. Okay, so let's say you have a triangular pyramid, for instance. And it all comes to a point, okay? That's a pyramid. So a pyramid has a, depending on what the shape is. So like this one is a triangular pyramid. So that means the base is a triangle. Okay, and all the other faces, all the lateral faces, are triangles. Okay, whereas in a prism, the lateral sides are rectangles, okay? So you only have one base when you're dealing with a pyramid. You have a triangular pyramid, okay, let's say. Now, if we have a square pyramid, they're going to have to draw it on an angle. So people look at this and think, oh, this is a rhombus, but you're supposed to think of it as looking at it from an angle. Okay? It's not the prettiest, and I'm not an artist by any means, okay? So this is a rectangular prism. Okay, so we've gone through the area formulas in this video, applied that to surface area. Then I've shown you pyramids. And then the last thing is a cone. So a cone, okay, it's just like this. All right, you don't have to worry about getting the surface area of that. If they do, you could always look it up. All right, kids, thank you. This is your introduction to 3D area. Oh, by the way, just in case somebody doesn't know, let's say you're getting the perimeter of any shape. Okay, the perimeter is just the distance around the outside. There's no formula. So like, let's say this is 5, this is 9, and this is a parallelogram. So that means opposite sides are congruent. You just do 5 plus 9 plus 5 plus 9, or you could realize that there's going to be 2 5s and 2 9s and do 5 plus 9 and double it and get 28. The units are not squared though. They're just units. They're linear. So you get perimeter by going around the outside. Is the distance around the outside of the polygon. All right, that concludes this video. See you in class.